Saradhavananiraloka Tadaya Karuna Dhanaganatyam Prapta Sakalana Gunanavasha Bande Gurasi Charanarabindam.
Hare Krishna. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya and his movement are compared to the tree of devotion, the Bhakti Vriksha. Srila Prabhupada writes in the summary of Adi Leela chapter 9 that it is figuratively described that both the tree itself and the trunk of the tree are Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The tree surrounds the entire world and the flowers of the tree are to be distributed to everyone. In this way, the tree of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu intoxicates the entire world. Every small group in ISKCON's congregation is therefore a branch of the branch stemming from the Bhakti Vriksha, the tree of Lord Chaitanya. The Bhakti Vriksha group is a type of Namahatta group, especially geared towards branching out. Just like in a tree, a branch of a certain thickness branches off into two. This branching process keeps going until the tree has thousands and thousands of branches, but all are connected to the main root. And Lord Chaitanya is the original root. And even one single branch from Chaitanya tree can grow and form thousands and thousands of sub-branches, small twigs, leaves, and so on. In fact, Lord Chaitanya used to go from village to village, and everywhere he went, each person he preached to would branch out and make 5 more families Krishna conscious. And then each of those 5 families would make 5 more. And such branching was so dynamic that it flooded the entire world with Krishna consciousness. In fact, our very own Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also expanded this movement in a very similar fashion. He would train his disciples and then send them to start a new temple somewhere. Then from there, devotees would be trained who would be sent to start more temples. That is how in the initial days of ISKCON, the New York temple, the San Francisco temple, the Montreal temple, and then the temple in London where Srila Prabhupada sent his disciples to start a center, that is how they all began. There they met George Harrison, and the rest is history. So this idea of Bhakti Vriksha system was developed by His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj, the Congregation Development Minister of ISKCON, in 1996, based on the preaching model of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Since then, there have been several successful implementations of Bhakti Vriksha system all over the world. The Bhakti Vriksha program usually consists of a gathering of people coming together to discuss the philosophy of spiritual values and to serve the Lord together in a community. However, Bhakti Vriksha is a way of doing things. In this presentation, we will discuss how to organize home programs in a Bhakti Vriksha way. But we can organize book distribution in a Bhakti Vriksha way. We can organize temple management in a Bhakti Vriksha way. All it means is to care for people, empower them, and expand. That is the Bhakti Vriksha way of doing things. So in Houston, there are several Bhakti Vriksha groups spread across different parts of the city, and the members usually attend the program based on their geographical location. Although there are some members who travel long distances to attend programs that they feel more connected to. The Bhakti Vriksha program, one of the main purposes is to enable everyone to practice, to grow, and to preach the process of Bhakti Yoga. Share this Krishna consciousness with others. By practicing, the devotee grows in Krishna consciousness himself and also learns how to help others in their Krishna consciousness and be able to preach to new people. The Bhakti Vriksha program also provides association and spiritual community support, and when new devotee becomes strong, he can share his Krishna consciousness with others. Srila Prabhupada also says that one cannot carry out Lord Chaitanya's orders without sharing this mercy that they receive with others. So to achieve this in a very systematic way requires a great stress on training at all levels and on all aspects of practice and preaching. To be successful, the Bhakti Vriksha program needs to implement a culture of training. It is a Brahminical Vaishnava effort dealing with people's hearts and minds. It needs ongoing training of every member of every group by seminars, courses, and of course by practical engagement, philosophical study, by personal development, and by sharing experiences. And that is where a whole round development of a devotee can take place. Another one of the main aspects of Bhakti Vriksha program is to provide spiritual care. If the members feel spiritually cared for, then they will be happy. If the members are affectionately encouraged to perform their spiritual practices and sadhana recommended by Srila Prabhupada, they will naturally become happy. A happy devotee is the best preaching, because then they will automatically attract several others. In order for them to share their Krishna consciousness with others spontaneously and enthusiastically, they need to feel cared for and be spiritually strong. So the purpose of Bhakti Vriksha programs is to provide personal care and attention for the devotees to advance in spiritual life.
So now let us discuss about what is a Bhakti Vriksha group. So in a Bhakti Vriksha group, it consists of 15 members who come together to practice Krishna consciousness and to plan some preaching activities. So every member in the group brings in new members. So that way they are engaged in preaching activities from the very beginning of their Krishna consciousness. The group also plans different preaching activities like book distribution, Harinam, Prasadam distribution, and other various outreach activities. So by participating in outreach activities in this way, the group, because they have a very friendly relationship amongst each other, the bonding becomes very strong amongst all the group members. They participate together in temple activities and services. During festivals, there are so many volunteer services that are needed in the temple. So because of the synergy that is created in these group members, they participate together in temple services, and the services are done in a very, very nice and cordial atmosphere. So when the Bhakti Vriksha group has a constant member count of 15 in number, it is time for the Bhakti Vriksha group to multiply. This multiplication is very essential for any Bhakti Vriksha program to ensure its success. Because when the group is small, it is easy to keep it, the participation is kept very, very nice. all the members in the group can participate very well if it is a small number. But as soon as the number exceeds 15, then the participation becomes difficult, and the each one teach one principle of Bhakti Vriksha is lost. Therefore, as soon as the number reaches 15, it is advised that the Bhakti Vriksha groups can multiply and expand.
When a group has more than 15 regular members, the group needs to multiply into 2 groups. Sometimes the members do not like to go into 2 separate groups since they have formed bonds with each other since a very long time. At this time, it may be difficult for the servant leader to convince the members about the need for expansion and multiplication of groups. However, if the Bhakti Vriksha servant leader emphasizes from the initial stages of the program the need for sharing Krishna consciousness and preaching as one of the main goals of coming together in a Bhakti Vriksha program, then this problem will not arise. The members would very easily understand the need for expansion and multiplication into separate groups.
So each group has a trainee servant leader and a group servant leader. So the group servant leader is training the trainee servant leader to become a future servant leader. So when the group multiplies into 2, the trainee servant leader becomes the group servant leader. Especially in Houston, we have implemented this model where the root of the Bhakti Vriksha programs is the temple. So the Bhakti Vriksha groups meet individually in their respective locations during the week, and on Sundays they get together and participate in Krishna conscious activities at the temple.
The Bhakti Vriksha strategy has primarily 3 phases. There is the contact, cultivation, and commitment or care. It's called the Vamandev approach, the 3-step approach of contact, cultivation, and commitment. It's also called 3 C's. So these 3 phases lead the new person to make a firm commitment to Krishna consciousness by joining a Bhakti Vriksha group where the new devotee is systematically engaged in advancing as well as sharing Krishna consciousness with others. Everyone, all temple and congregational devotees should participate in this preaching strategy. All can help in making more devotees by contacting new people either from the book distribution or from temple welcome booth, and all these contacts can be followed up further by cultivating and building lasting relationships. The 3rd phase is the commitment phase or the care phase, where such a devotee he feels the engagement in joining a Bhakti Vriksha group. The atmosphere of such a Bhakti Vriksha group sometimes may be too intense for some of the brand new people, and they may require more time to become familiar with the Krishna conscious lifestyle and values. But by keeping in touch and following up, giving a personal touch to it, brings all the members up to speed with the other group members. The sustaining factor of the Bhakti Vriksha group is the follow-up system. Contacts generated from book distribution and temple welcome booth are then distributed to the servant leaders in the nearby vicinity. Then during the week, devotees follow up with the contacts living in the vicinity or neighborhood and invite them to the Bhakti Vriksha group meetings, and also encourage them to visit the temple depending on their comfort level. So since this follow-up is a devotional activity, one's attitude is very important. We pray to Krishna, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj to allow us to become their humble instrument. One of the prayers that could be recited before making the phone call is also mentioned in the Bhakti Vriksha manual. And it goes like this: Dear Srila Prabhupada, by the grace of Krishna and the spiritual master, a fortunate person, after wandering throughout the universe in different species of life, receives the seed of pure devotional service. This person came in contact with your International Society for Krishna Consciousness and has started his journey back home, back to Godhead. Let me be a worthy instrument in helping this soul progress in spiritual life.